Right, I look tired, but normally I look like this, so... Right. So not long ago, I was asked to be here on this staging to make an inspiring and interesting and informative presentation to this group of passionate people who are so beautiful, handsome, and young. But I had one problem, and I will be honest with you. And the problem was that I knew I was going to be younger than the audience who are here today. I'm 26 years old, by the way. Alright.
So young. Still young.
So it was kind of hard for me to prepare this inspiring presentation to the people who have achieved more than I have, and to the people who are just a little bit older than me. So I sat down and thought about it, and then I came to a conclusion that instead of making a bigger deal out of what I have done in the past, what about making a public promise of what I'm going to achieve by the end of this year? So, okay, I should have. Right, this is not the one. Right. So, in my presentation, I will share my goal and promise you that I will achieve my goal, so that you all can recall the time when you dreamed of your own goals and appreciate the time when you worked so hard to achieve your own goals. So by the time I finish my presentation, I want you to, again, plan your next journey in your life. So what is my goal? I will receive acceptance letter from the GSIS schools in Korea. I will be a GSIS student next year. So GSIS stands for Graduate School of International Studies, 국제대학원. And why do I want to go to GSIS? John F. Kennedy once said, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Right. I didn't say that, John F. Kennedy said that, right? And 4 or 5 years ago, I had a chance to participate in an international conference. And I was able to witness the delegates putting an effort to make this world a better place. And among the other delegates from all around the world, there was one I cannot help but to notice. A Korean delegate who really stood out. He was really passionate, and he had really strong influence in the conference. And at that time, it was the turning point in my life. I promised myself to be the person who represents my country and make this world a better place. So, what am I currently doing to go to? So, nowadays it is inevitable to have these firm understanding of global issues with global perspective, because the globe is getting smaller and the interaction and cooperation among the countries are not an option anymore. So that's why I want to go to GSIS to learn more about international relations. And I also intend to explore the field where my talent can contribute to this country and to the world. So what am I currently doing to go to GSIS? Firstly, I worked as a member of the 8th ACK Youth Coordinator at the American Embassy in the Public Affairs Department. ACK, American Center Korea, U.S. Embassy's reference and research provider, delivers information about America's policy, society to the Korean people. To make a long story short, you can picture ACK as a modern library where you can get the information about America. So as a youth coordinator, I participate in managing and hosting diverse public diplomacy programs regarding the American history, culture, and policy. So far, am I going too fast? Okay, all right. So far, One of the positive influence I had is that I can interact with the youngsters who have the same interests as I have. Even though I'm the oldest member in the group, I get inspired. I have been inspired and motivated by them, so that I consistently develop myself to be a better person. So, Bridge for Peace. A month ago, I was attending this forum called International NGOs on History and Peace at Gyeonggi University as an audience. And there was, throughout the conference, there was one Japanese man who really caught my attention. He was apologizing for the past horrible actions that war criminals or Japanese ex-soldiers did during the World War II to the neighboring countries, including Korea and the Philippines, and etc. And he works for Bridge for Peace, BFP, and his main goal is to discuss wars of the past and consider on how to shape the future. Basically, they filmed the stories, they filmed the apologies from the war criminals, and they filmed the stories from war victims, and they exchanged the film and show the film to the public. And also, they also hold workshops to promote the work they do, not only to the war victims, but also to the Japanese people, so that Japanese people know how serious the problem is and was and has been. And I was ashamed and shocked and touched at the same time, because the Japanese people were doing the work that we, the Koreans, were supposed to be doing. So after the program, I came up to the man and asked for his business card, and promised that I would give a hand when you come back to Korea again. And so far, we had one meeting through Skype about the workshops, which will be held in this October in Korea. So I will make sure that once the setting is set, I will send you the invitation cards. So, that's me in the red circle. So number 3, liaison officer. So liaison officer is the person who assists the delegates from other countries during the conference. Basically, you can think liaison officer as a secretary who can speak English. So I was attending. I worked as a liaison officer for various conferences, such as special ASEAN ROK ministerial meeting on forestry and pre-COP18 ministerial meeting on climate change, and so on. In the meetings above, I was able to witness the delegates actually working on the global issues, and it was really fascinating experience that I get to see how they actually work, how the progress is being made. And I would like to share one impressive lesson, the first and foremost impressive lesson that I learned from this particular delegate. And the lesson was, love what you do. So I was escorting this delegate from one place to another by a car, and I was rude and crazy enough to conduct my own interview in the car, even though I knew how tired he was from the meetings. And it was once in a lifetime chance I cannot ignore. And he was really kind enough to answer all of my questions. And I remember asking him this one particular question: how do you manage to live your life so busy that you cannot even take a rest in a car? Did you get it? Yeah, okay. And he said, and he answered, you have to love what you do. I know it sounds simple as it sounds, but it was obvious and clear as he delivered. So, what am I going to do? Oh, okay, I forgot to press this one. Alright, so what am I going to do after I get accepted by GSIS? I plan to widen and broaden the understanding of different perspectives and different stands from the people who are in minor positions by interacting with your screen defectors and sexual minorities. I had the privilege to interact with people with different cultures and different religions, but I didn't actually have the chance to interact with those screen defectors or sexual minorities. So whether we like it or not, we cannot deny that they exist, right? So we have to find a way to interact and cooperate each other, not fight each other. Oh, not finished yet. Right. So today, all I could do was to make a promise. But next time I come up here, I will make sure that I will be a GSI student, 국제대학원생, and please cross your fingers for me. And there's one, thank you. And there's one last thing I want to say. Do we really have to be some kind of a mogul to inspire or motivate others?
No.
Maybe. Yes, right. But in fact, I get inspired and motivated every week by each and every one of you by your passion to this study group. So please, thank you about it. Thank you for that, and please give yourself a big round of applause. And thank you.